if I don't like it, I just remove the first part.
There you go.
If it's too much hassle, I'd be like, we didn't even do the intro yet, so it's calm.
It's not started until the intro's done anyway.
We're literally only like 2 minutes in anyway. So
Yeah.
You guys have a special intro you do?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we
Is
do.
there a dance and everything?
Yeah.
He's got the guests have to dance.
This guy's a step out.
Don't do that.
Don't play those games.
Don't
This guy
do that.
is been practicing all
You stop.
No, but for a
he's
long
got
time,
anticipation.
all I've ever seen is a two-step.
Thank you. At least someone knows the truth.
That's how he scams you guys.
No, but he might not dance, but that nigga raps though.
You rap as well.
You got bars.
Hey.
Wait, you rap as well? I'll pull up the track right
Do you know
now.
what's funny?
After
Yeah?
Space Hot Fire.
No.
The hottest.
We
I thought you still on fire.
used to
But it's not
in
a
my
rapper
own
though.
days. I'm not a rapper.
What was your
I
rap
like
name?
that.
What was your
But
rap
I'm not
name?
a rapper though.
What?
What was your rap name?
Opalicious.
What?
Operations.
Opalicious.
Delicious.
You guys said
so
operation.
That's so light skinned.
I was the light skinnest, dark skinned guy you could ever meet.
What
I
Ebenezer
had-
Giza.
Listen, yeah, it was so annoying. So we had the song back and going.
What was it, your group called Opalicious or you were?
No.
called
I was just the main character.
Just you.
No,
That's
no.
hardcore, man.
No. As it was just me.
I like that name. It could double as a stripper name.
Let me just tell you, guys, that name is dead. This name stays on this platform.
If I'm walking in a nightclub, I hear Opalicious.
I think it's the best
What you said, I don't know why Saucy Santana came to.
Actually, Opalicious sounds like you got a BBL.
What?
It sounds like you got a BBL.
I don't have a BBL though. But like in Galway, yeah, we used to do
That's
we
hardcore,
just used to do random songs like, and there was
Straight to
one
the
called.
point.
Is that it?
That's it.
Oh my god! So basically, before you start,
This is the intro song.
there's a guy. Yeah, his name's Ebenezer. He's still a good friend of mine till today.
I think it is my end actually.
And we were like, what
Yeah,
rhymes?
he is in your ends.
Yeah. it
Oh
is my
shit,
end.
yeah. We were like, what rhymes with Ebenezer? And there you go.
I can think of one word, but it's
What rhymes with
inappropriate.
Ebenezer?
Find out.
Giza.
It gets better. He lives in the freezer. He's a big booty squeezer. Listen,
Was he a gospel rap? Oh no, big booty squeezer.
this guy was in a gospel rap.
I do it for Jesus though. This intro song. This is the intro song this week.
But yeah, so basically, Shion got married, yeah, and we were at his wedding, and I was like,
You have to
the wedding got not shut down, but the fire brigade came, and yeah, a lot
Sorry,
happened,
wait, pause.
Of course, the fire brigade
This
comes
is
to
the
shows,
most
right?
gangster and ghetto thing I heard in my life. This guy said the wedding got shut, well, actually it didn't get shut down. The fire brigade. What does that mean?
Well, it
What does that
means
mean?
we
It
were
didn't get shut
partying.
down, but the fire brigade came.
A lot
To
happened.
your wedding, the first day of the rest of your life.
What could have
That's
transpired?
hardcore,
honestly?
man.
A lot happened. Like a
this
pregnant
guy
woman fainted while she was getting food. Like food ran out. I don't know, man. There was
This
Really?
wedding was fire.
It literally. So I was
married
playing
life,
it. I was playing the song the day after, and he was like, "If I had played that song, the fire brigade would have came an hour before because the place would have shut down."
Oh my
but it's just such a like.
With the amount of gold people that were there.
Do you know what I mean? You know, it was just like a little anthem we had. Man, it got me two club appearances. Stop that.
Get the
Don't
Who
get
paid
that
for you to
wrong.
come to the club?
bag.
They
Loads
paid
of
for you to
people.
perform.
Yes.
You know what?
Yeah.
Technically,
This guy's a hater, man.
You said it quick.
In my past life.
He said the geezer and they said come to the club.
Yeah, bro.
Galway just need
You
a black
should have been there.
representatives. Galway just want a representative to say, yeah, he's black, he raps.
If you're watching this and you know about Ebenezer the Geezer,
What year was
let
this?
Jordan know.
What year was this?
2012?
Yeah, 10 years ago. Yeah. It was like 4 black people in Galway.
It was so
One of
long.
them raps. They said, take him.
That's before 2012 because
Yeah, it was.
I came in at 2012.
Yeah, so it was probably like
2011.
2010, 2011. Man, I had the streets in like a
Believable.
chokehold,
You have
bro.
to streets a lot.
Stop that. I've been out here.
Everyone has had a little rap career at one point. Yeah.
What was your rap?
There's not a single
I-
black person
I
on earth
never-
that has a
I
black
know that
man.
I have no musical
In our
talent.
generation.
So I just wrote bars, but I never
What
spat
about,
them.
what about
Did you remember
R&B?
Little Notebook where you wrote bars?
What? Stop it.
R&B.
R&B.
You look like an R&B nigga.
Yeah, no, but you
No,
have
I
that
am an
vocals.
R&B nigga.
Okay.
Yeah, but you have that vocals.
Brother, I can almost sing, bro.
Almost.
I appreciate the honesty,
I
man.
can stay in key. It might be the wrong key, but I'm in that big.
I can stay. That's a talent.
It's a talent. Some
skill.
people can't even stay in the wrong key.
It's true.
That was
I hear
good.
it.
Like them church aunties.
Wow.
And they
What did
always
church
want-
aunties do?
They're always
Just
the one that
dancing
wants to
straight.
lead choir as well. They want to lead on Sunday, bro.
That's when you see aunties' egos.
Church aunties
Yeah.
give us,
They'll be
like-
leaving church because they've not let the choir in. 2 weeks.
Bruh, come
They
on,
said they're not
see.
coming back.
Man, my
Because
dad
they're
had
not the
bare
choir
headaches
leader.
with that back
Or
in
they'll
the
beef
day.
the choir. Whoa. See?
Ebenezer, Giza. What's the break the speakers?
Oh, bars, sorry.
Oh, we're spinning off.
What was your rap name?
Don't worry about it, man.
You did have a rap name, you see?
Fam, you know what? It's probably like Ayo Star or something like that.
Nah.
MCA.
I was like,
I'm not even gonna say because people are gonna Google it. Let's move on. What about you guys, man?
Anyways, let's do the intro.
Jokes aside, when he told me about this because I know this is puzzle a lot, but Charity
yeah.
the Game is a dope name.
We charge to the game. Thank you. Let's do.
Only thing is, when you look up Charge the Game, you see about 4 more podcasts.
Really?
Yeah. It's a dope name.
So I think we deviated now to CITTG, to be honest.
Yeah.
maybe just add
I think
something.
it's the best move. Yeah.
Right.
Charity to the Irish Game.
Yeah.
I don't think them niggas ain't popping like us.
Ooh,
We're the best
actually.
motherfucking podcast in the
Yeah.
world. Try to
Facts.
the motherfucking game.
Facts.
Damn
Yeah.
it, man. We can talk this shit.
You guys are
man.
definitely top 5 Charity to the Game podcast.
Definitely.
You guys do it. How did you guys start? How did you guys?
We'll do the intro. We'll introduce ourselves. Anyways, and we're here. We are Charger to the Game. You heard we are the podcast with the highest level of analysis that the culture needs. I'm Uncle Jay, but you guys can call me Jordan. I'm here with.
No, it's your girl's favorite voice, big bitch nigga with the Midas touch.
Second most light skin on the podcast. What we doing? What's he got me for this week? See, I can't even get my intro.
got your
I know.
nose
Every intro, you're always
No,
It's
no,
okay.
you got your nose pierced. You're the final light
Yeah,
skin
but you can't
boss.
see it in camera though.
You are the final
Can you
light
see it
skin
in camera?
boss.
When they can't see it.
When you do clip zoom on.
Zoomed in on my
No,
Oh, you actually do have your nose pierced.
You didn't even see it.
my guy got his nose
I
pierced.
might have to be with Dej on this.
Bro,
Yeah, no,
No,
he does this with his hair.
You guys don't approve of men piercing the.
no,
No,
you got beers. You got
it's the
beers.
statement.
It's just that you are now the most, because he thinks I'm the most light skin on the podcast.
You do carry cocoa butter.
Because you are.
And you didn't say you could have been an Iron
Because-
Man.
Cocoa, what was it? Cocoa
Because I like to take care of my lips. I carry a little
out to
small
you,
of
man.
I'm not gonna
Vaseline.
lie, I have a cocoa bone as well.
I was backing you.
I'm not gonna lie,
I was
I'm not
backing
gonna
you.
lie, I'm not
Like,
gonna lie. I just
However,
don't bring it with me.
however, someone's DNA is genetically modified to be light skin. And also, Uncle, let me land. Now he has his nose pierced as well.
Yeah.
All he's missing is the other side and the eyebrow piercing. And this guy
To complete the light skin starter kit.
bro, if he goes on Love Island, you know where
Straight away. He's gonna make it to the final.
I'm telling you.
Listen, that's what trying to whore me out. Whore me on the line. Listen, you just have to start seeing
You guys
this
even
in the
let me
middle.
finish.
this guy says, "Why don't you whore me out?" Yo,
Bro.
So your babes can fight me.
Bro,
Pour
finish
yourself
your
out.
intro. Don't let them
Yeah,
hold
I
you
know,
back,
right?
man.
Right.
Fuck
Sorry,
them.
sorry.
It's still second most light skin on the
Facts.
podcast.
Come on.
Dave_Smith without the eye.
Come on.
Don't talk to me.
Who can you
I
bench?
got my piercing. What?
Who can you
I
bench?
got my piercing. I heard for 2
He
seconds.
changed it.
You can't bench
Stay with your chest, man. Stay with your chest.
When he said your granddad, I was like, whoa, that's not hard.
that nigga's frail. Like he's not.
He's on his way out.
Who are we here with, lads? Who are we here with?
So I'm gonna debut my own little intro as well.
Go.
So you got your boy Opeasy here to tell you that this life thing ain't easy. But stick with me and I give you the keys.
Wait, the keys, not the keysy.
It was me. Deji says, nah, that ain't it, y'all.
No, because I thought there would be 4 bars. I thought it was gonna be a peasy.
Easy.
There was one more I was gonna add, but
The beginning, I like the beginning. My name is Opeasy, so
Here
it's
to
easy.
say, yeah.
But you can work on the end.
Yeah.
You can work on the end.
I appreciate the honesty,
You can
boys.
work on the end.
Mine's gonna be extremely underwhelming, but my name is Ayo.
Brick.
My name is Ayo. Very, very happy to be here with you guys. Really cool. I always wanted to be on the pod, so very excited, man. You guys are-
Man, fuck you guys. I worked in that intro all week, man.
No. So did he. I thought it was cold. It could have stopped that easy.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, 100%.
You didn't need the keys.
But let me just say
Don't
one
need
more
the
thing.
keys.
Sorry. Now I'm gonna be
I say drop the
nerdy
keys
guy.
and
And we're good.
it's cold. I hit a little ooh like during it. So
Okay.
That's some light skin shit.
Well, I am like
Hater, man.
he's actually
You're a bigger hater than me.
Yeah,
So you had a question
But
for us.
I was gonna say
Yeah,
before
yeah.
I get into that. So I'm Ayo, do a lot of other things, but the reason why I'm here today is I'm president of APNI, African Professional Network of Ireland. I wouldn't do all that.
We will
like,
definitely get
But we'll
into that. Yeah,
later,
yeah. But you had a
And,
question for
yeah,
for
so
the
how did you
intro.
guys come up with the name and how did you guys get into podding?
How did we come up with the name? I think it was this light skinned guy that actually came up with the
It's a good name.
It's a good name, though.
No.
name.
It's
It's
a
a
good
cool
name.
name. The moment he said it, I was like, that's it.
Yeah,
No. So
Yeah.
we had the short list of either charges to the game, and then beforehand, one of our guys, Joe, came on the podcast, and he went into this whole brilliant dialogue. I recommend anybody to go back and listen to that podcast about turning down the noise. So that was actually initially what we were going to go for, turning down the noise. So we shortlisted between charge to the game and turning down the noise. I don't know. Charge to the game just had a little bit more.
Yeah. It flows
class
better.
to it, you know?
Yeah, and it's just everyday life. You
Yeah.
just gotta-
Yeah.
And it can be flexible.
I like
We could
that.
say CITTG if we wanted to, like, because that does really bother me. That when I see other podcasts have to charge to the game, but like, that's what I'm saying.
What if other podcasts also acronym theirs?
Nah, I don't. We're the only one that I see us with CITTG.
This is the thing. 90% of podcasts don't make it past episode. What is it? 10?
Episode.
Yeah.
It's like 90%.
I wouldn't worry about it, man. Like,
I'm not worried about
Yeah,
it.
they
no, I
don't
don't
make it past
worry about
episode 3, and the 3 out of the 10% that do make it past episode 3, another 90% of them don't make it past episode 10.
Yeah.
26?
And then in terms of
27 tomorrow.
in terms of how we started podcasting, anyway, we were podcasting for a minute. Like we're all doing our own different respective podcasts. Like he's the Tree at the Back OG. Like the Tree at the Back is like say Charge of the Game's the offspring of Tree at the Back. You know what I mean? Like so he was the OG that did Tree at the Back, originally a sports podcast. So he originally did a sports podcast. I did one called No Cast, and Dej did the M Pod. So we had like different co-hosts. We had like different formats, different sort of thing. And I don't know. It was just over time we came together. Tree at the Back at the time acquired Dej because Dej was killing it at the podcasting at the time. You had 2 under your belt at that stage, and then Joe at the time was on the podcast. Joe was the glue to a lot of this.
Yeah.
Joe was the glue to a lot of this. So Joe, I was always like doing my own podcast, doing my own things, but I used to be a lot more into editing and stuff like that. So my visuals were a decent standard. Like
It's hard work as well.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not that my standard dropped off, my time just
Hard work, yeah.
shrunk. Like so, Joe hit me up, and Joe was like initially, okay, can you be the visual guy kind of thing? You can come in. So we had it split into 2 segments. We had sport at the time, and we had culture at the time. So Joe hit me up, and Joe was so professional.
Yeah.
With this thing. Like Joe was like,
I remember
"I'm
Joe.
I'm Joseph. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm on a, like literally chatting to me like proper." And he said,
Was he French?
No, he's English, real sophisticated kind of English accent. Yeah.
Was that your English accent? Is that what you're
Sorry,
going
you
for?
sounded French. Sorry.
Man, I was like, you cook. I was like, no, bro.
No, I wasn't trying to be funny.
I said nothing. I was letting you get in your
These guys
bag.
are
'Cause-
grabbing me today.
No, listen to me.
yeah,
Listen to me. The chronological way you were telling that story.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, this is actually how that shit happens. And then you went with the accent. I was like, wait a minute.
Keep going.
You guys are killing me.
The next time you tell
Yeah.
the story, say his French because it'll make it. It sounds better. It sounds more like mysterious. This French guy.
Yeah, but no. So we so yeah, he hit me up. He goes, yeah, just you can. What we basically needed to do is we need to expand our visuals a little bit because
Podcast was changing.
Yeah,
The whole
but-
podcast
Yeah.
was changing.
Yeah,
It wasn't just
Facts.
audio anymore.
Like-
It became visuals and
then on top of that, it was Zoom podcast at the time.
Yeah.
So my challenge was
thing.
to somehow make and really we figure out now in hindsight that was a losing game. Like trying to make Zoom
Yeah,
podcast
it was not
It was a
happening.
losing game because nobody's listening to it anyway.
Nope.
So I was doing the editing for that. So I just do my piece for the sports segment, say a little 1-2 piece, rant about United, talk about the playoffs, something like that, and then step out. And then these guys would do like the culture,
The culture
thing.
part. Yeah, I remember that.
But then I started stepping into the culture thing gradually. But then we just weren't consistent at the time. Like a few of us would kind of go MIA. Like I maybe would have like 2 week spurts where I wasn't managing to edit. Like Deji had to do something or we had to do something. And I always remember the conversation we had with Joe. Joe had us on a call and he scolded us.
Scolded.
Scolded us
Like, yo, with
for 30
children.
minutes. And I always remember him saying, I've said it on a couple of podcasts and I'll never forget, he said, you man aren't treating this like a full-time job because you aren't getting paid like a full-time job.
I can relate.
And it's going to be the loop that you're never going to do it like a full-time job. There's words in this whole scolding.
And how long ago was that?
just be the year before the pandemic or something.
2020. December 2020.
2 years.
Yeah.
No, you said if you guys are if you guys are waiting for the money to come in to treat this like a job, when the money comes in, then are you gonna get all the money? Because if I'm putting all the work now and then the money, like it was very realistic with us. And in hindsight, it was.
Do you feel like that was the kick up the backside you guys needed?
No, because then we stopped. Like
We just stopped
essentially,
doing it.
yeah, we stopped doing it completely. Everybody, I stopped doing True at the Back. Then I think they were still doing their podcast.
I also do my podcast.
You could say I was doing my per se, but I wasn't exactly. It was the same sort of thing that none of us were really treating it. Well, all due respect to my guys that were doing that at the time, I was just frustrated that with that because that was always my project. I was just kind of stepping into Trade Back to help. But that's like I almost shared frustration with Joe because I was there on one other side, then telling the guys, we need to be treating this like we actually need to be investing capital into this.
Yeah.
Not be like me doing it on me.
like not everybody was on the same wavelength that you were.
Yeah, so we weren't aligned, like, and we can admit that, and the guys can admit that now if we ever see them, and it's cool because we can be friends. Because the whole thing with this, when you have to understand when you're creating a business with someone, you're actually putting your friendship on the line. Because it's like if you're not taking it serious, it can actually turn deeper than this. We're friends. This is something you care about, and this is something we're both supposed to share care and share capital in. And you're not caring about it.
It's not just business; it's personal when it's with friends.
So it's personal thing. Yeah. It's like a once in a lifetime shot we can have. We were calling the Tree of the Back thing Last Dance. At the same time I was calling the No Cast thing. It's like, guys, we're doing 4 more months of No Cast or whatever. This is the last dance, and then that's it. I have to walk away from it. So there was a bit of a gap when between us still after that the Joe conversation just deaded out, it flatlined everything. It was like, that's it. Done. So we had a few months kind of, you could say, hiatus. It feels like a hiatus now, but we weren't for doing Trade the Back again.
Yeah, at the time it wasn't in hiatus. At the time it was over.
It was over.
We went back to do DM pod. I know you were still dabbling. Like I was completely content with not podding again. I was like, because I started Trade the Back with Joe, so it was like the adventure I shared with him. And when he moved to England, and then he didn't want to do it again, I was fine. I was like, this is something I enjoy doing with Joe, anyways. Like I just wanted to do guest spots on podcasts. I was like, I'll pop in and do guest spots on podcasts here and there, but to do it weekly and regularly, when Joe left, I was like, I don't really care to do it anymore. I don't. And then we did a guest spot on Deji's podcast, the three of us, his co-hosts. Long story short, all our co-hosts moved countries, so we came together.
I actually think I remember the inception. I think, the co-host of DM Pod wasn't around, so I think 1 or 2 of you came, and then I just started seeing 3 of you consistently.
The
That
biggest
was it.
revolving door in our podcast career is like the domino effect. Like that, me just couldn't show up to one podcast. So Reggie hit us up, and our chemistry was just flying on this one.
But then that's why I think like everything happens for a reason, because you always wonder like, oh, all these missed flights, or you miss a bus, or you do this, or people going elsewhere. It gives opportunity for something else that hindsight you're like, oh, if that didn't happen, we wouldn't be here today.
Yeah, but going back, it was like serious conversations. You still have the serious conversation. It's like lads, if we're gonna do this is the last time I'm podding. If it's not gonna be, I'm not giving my time like it's petrol. It's paying for studio space. It's taking time to edit. It's taking time to listen back, to make notes, to give to Deji.
Bro, I've been there.
Like So I'm like, if we are not as all in as possible, because like you're saying, at the end of the day, I'm paying nobody to get here. So I can only push them to an extent. If I can only tell Deji, can you send me that audio 2 or 3 times? After a while, it's like I can't really. He's not my employee. You know that?
I'm not your fucking dad. Do your fucking job.
Yeah, it's funny enough. It like literally, we did that episode on DM Pod, and the same thing. Like, Deji, we were all just like, "It's cold," and it was like we're all just like, "Oh yeah, no, it's cold."
That's it.
Nothing. Yeah, we'll leave it at that. Dej comes back one day. No, guys, I genuinely think we should go all in on this again. Like I've been thinking about it. It's been on my mind, and it was weird because at the time it was on my mind. It's like, how am I like fighting to get this one podcast going kind of thing. I do this one with the guys, and it just feels natural. We're popping off, or we're bouncing off each other's jokes,
energy,
stuff like energy. Yeah. And I was a bit like, but I don't want to say anything because I don't want these guys to be like,
I don't want to be a neek.
You want to run the fuck again? Like, you know what I mean?
You said it. Imagine you feel that way. You say it to me, it's like, no.
Yeah.
It wasn't even like that.
Yeah. But sometimes, one thing with Deji is he'll express himself like in some moments. So usually like, lads, like I can't help it. Like I think it'll work. And I was thinking already at the time. You were thinking it, but you were probably the most.
Yeah, I was
probably on the fence.
Reluctant because,
yeah.
like I saw, like you're saying, it's personal when it's friends, and like I don't want to start this and then give more time, and then I start to resent y'all because I was like, I was fine not doing this, and now you're wasting my time. It's like, if we're not gonna be all in, why we do like that? And it's because you're so close and we know each other. Like ironically, I figured out that I've known Deji for a decade without thinking about it. Like it's like, and then I've known Dave for like another 5 years, 6 years without even thinking about it. So I was like at a place, I'm like, look, I necessarily was like, I don't really want to do this because I don't want to get to a place where we're chasing each other up. That's where Joe's frustration comes from. I'm chasing you up to do your thing. I'm chasing you up to do your thing. I'm chasing you up to show up for the pod.
Let me put my hands up.
Yeah.
The catalyst for that conversation, right, was there was an episode we recorded and I went missing for like 3 weeks.
Aye.
No. And that's something I used to do. I just no communication. No. You just
God.
you just want
Yeah.
to-
And you're contacting people that know Deji to find Deji.
And
And,
then-
after that, you're like,
and then
I'm
eventually
not
I
doing
popped
that.
up. I was like, oh yeah, I got that episode done.
Everyone's like,
That episode done. I swear nobody would have said anything.
You know
He was
what's
like, oh
funny?
yeah, no, I got it done. I was like, even me, I used to have to arrange the poster. I'm like, I'm not doing that shit.
because you're put off by it. But
Yeah,
then-
literally. And that Jordan was literally going, if we're going to do this, you can't despair. And I was like, I promise you I won't despair. Like, I'll actually do the thing properly.
So he is the most light skinned.
I've been saying.
My put you guys are red for 3 weeks.
I'll say I got vitiligo. Like I'm mostly black. but
You say you got the MJ condition. Get out of here.
Thank you.
Get out of here. That don't count.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but that's how we done the consistency. Even at the beginning, again, it was still the best. Yeah, here and there.
One thing I
but
will
we got
rate
there
you
eventually.
guys though, and I've been thinking about it like more recently. Like I fucking rate you man's consistency this year.
Yeah, we had
Like,
to. We had to.
I know.
What episode are you guys on?
27 now, and I think we've missed maybe
right.
1 week.
Yeah.
Maybe
And
more.
that's-
And I remember 1 week I had to get my wife and a friend to do an episode because I was like, we're not missing an episode.
Good man.
I was like, we're not missing
that's
an
what it
episode.
takes.
We're gonna
Respect
keep
that,
going.
man.
We're gonna
That's
keep
what
going.
it takes.
no, you know what's crazy about that episode as well? The camera wasn't working. The mics were recorded.
Yeah. I recorded the visuals on my phone and I recorded the audio on her phone. Wow. So because when I got there, nothing was working. I was like, well, how can I do to make this work? And in the whole episode, that's a good thing about doing podcasts for women. Sometimes they can talk.
Yeah.
So like after all of that,
Hey.
I'm just sitting there and it's like, yeah, it's just count.
The whole episode is just say swear.
We just sit in the middle of like this. Yeah.
Tell me more.
Well, how do you guys know each other?
Pull that together. Like.
So we know each other. So as I was saying in the intro, so we were both on the exec committee for this thing called APNI. APNI stands for African Professional Network of Ireland. So it sounds way fancier than it is.
I actually helped
My
out
title
with
is
work as
president.
well.
Sorry?
I was helping out with for a bit.
Cool, perfect. Yeah.
So explain.
Yeah,
Definitely.
we talk more about it. And then he runs like our PR, so just get people to know more about us with someone called Lizzie
Beecham.
So he kind of helps us get more like awareness, more like press, like get on pods, and we've been on a few like mainstream press. And
I think we had FM 104 last on
FM 104, like on
Mine's done.
I don't want to like misname anyone.
Yeah,
But I know
true.
we've been on a few like newspapers and stuff, so this is all his hard work. So so yeah, that's how we know each other. Work quite closely together on that, and I guess what APNI does is it's really so we started about 6 years ago now. We have about 3,000 members across Ireland, so it's really about trying to foster community for African professionals in Ireland, but just like diverse professionals altogether. Because I think before APNI there was nothing, there was no organization or anything like that that was solely focused on kind of building that network. So I moved to Ireland 12 years ago. You guys, I'm assuming, have been here longer than me, but I might be wrong. I'm going to assume.
Yeah.
So I moved here as an international student for college.
And he never left.
I never left. And I remember when I first moved, we were talking to a lot of people who were a lot older than me. A lot of people that I met in the professional space would have worked in maybe there were like 3 main sectors in terms of like Africans or black people. It was mainly like transport, healthcare, and
Finance.
I didn't really meet many people in finance when I first moved, to be honest. Not many.
12 years ago, if you
12
think
years
about it.
Not many.
12 years ago.
Not many. I mean, maybe a few people would have worked in like sales, but it was mainly it was two mainly. It was transport and healthcare were the two kind of main
Maybe retail?
fields, and like retail, yeah. But this is kind of the main fields. And then if you look at now, 10 years later, even before now, right? You see people in just way more diverse sectors, and there's people who are actually doing fantastic things. There are people who are very senior in like tech companies, finance companies, who are black, African, diverse professionals, right? So it will be a waste if Africans and black people in Ireland can't come together and try and like foster that power of community to help other people, right?
Yes.
To help those younger people. Like when I was coming out of college, I had nobody to tell me this is the job you should get if you're trying to get here. So I probably wasted 3 years in my career just because I didn't have clear guidance as to if you want to get to position Y, don't waste time doing X.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
Just do this, right? Do this exam. Don't do that exam. So that's why it's very important to kind of foster that community in Ireland, and that's what we're trying to do by establishing APNI, doing networking events. We have a mentorship program that we run and all that great stuff. And,
there's a website too.
The website, or Instagram. So we do like obviously it went a bit slow during COVID because we couldn't do physical events, and the power is really in the physical networking events, right? Because you get to meet other people and get inspired. But we have mentorship programs. We launched a mental health initiative this year as well, where like if you want therapy, you can get like 30% off from Black therapists, right? So like culturally appropriate therapy is extremely important.
Very.
So important.
You know what I mean? And as I'm sure you guys know, the issue in the Black community, even worse for men, about lack of access to therapy. Well, I don't say lack of access, lack of willingness to get therapy. Let's put it that way. Because these days you can download an app on your phone and get therapy. Yeah. And then when you do get
on a
it,
podcast, like
we're
terrible for it. We still fun.
but even then sometimes because I've been to therapy, right? And you feel like some things that you're discussing, maybe they can't really understand because they didn't grow up in the same environment, so they can't really relate. So getting access to that culturally relevant therapy, things like that we're trying to do. We did a business competition, and very importantly, on the 13th of October, we're doing a career fair, like a career day is what we're calling it, which is really focused on helping people figure out what they want to do next in their career. So we're gonna have 15 companies, the biggest companies in Ireland. Like if I ask you what the biggest company in Ireland is right now, you're probably gonna say Google or JP Morgan or something. They're all gonna be there, and they're like intentional about hiring diverse talent, right? So, when I was in college, I go to these career fairs and I hand out my CVs, but I don't hear anything back because there's always some story about, well, for me, I needed a visa. I'm sure you guys are in that situation, but when I was finishing uni, I needed a visa and nobody was trying to sponsor my visa. It was a recession.
Fair.
No, nobody wants to hear that.
And that's fair. But at least now it would have been nice if I was going to a career fair that I knew was specifically
targeted for people like me.
You know what I mean? And that's what we're trying to do. It's never been done in Ireland.
And I feel like he touched on earlier on, like the people younger than us, they seem to benefit most from this because, like he said, growing up, I had nobody to be like, yo, if you want to go down the finance route, this is what you need to do. 100%. Or like even like little niches about your CV, what to put in, what to include, or when you're in college, what type of experiences you should get.
What internships?
I remember
even how you should leverage your language.
Honestly,
because what I had to do in recruitment was, funny enough, my one and only major presentation work was actually presenting APNI, which I had first job syndrome.
What company was this?
I work. I'll tell you off mic.
Okay.
I work for this. I work for this recruitment company. It's like a tech consultant. But I had like first job syndrome where I absolutely shot the bed with this presentation, and I'm so annoyed with it. Like I was just shaking. I was there, but I carried myself well. I presented APNI, but what I was responsible for doing on APNI was using the website, which is like it's almost like a Google format. A LinkedIn format. It's quite similar where we were just having visibility on jobs. So I'll post a job on this website, this APNI website, and it was in order to, like, say for instance, if I had like a French speaking content review role, post that. Maybe it gets visibility to like the Cameroon community or something. You know what I mean? Yeah. So people can leverage.
Basically, it's more targeted for that specific role within that community that they can.
So there's visibility to
see
jobs. So I think that's another thing. Is literally just like there's actually, like you said, you don't know the first thing what to do with your CV, even interview skills like that. But then there's the aspect of like there's not enough visibility on jobs sometimes. You wouldn't know the first thing to look if say for instance your proficiency in French was a lot stronger than your proficiency in English. You wouldn't know where to look.
100%.
So
that's the beautiful thing about what we're trying to do here, right? So it's gonna go from 3 to 9 p.m. The first session is for kind of students and early stage professionals. The latest session is for people who are like mid-stage professionals. But the point of this is not like you might come there and you might not qualify for any job. But that's not enough reason not to come, right? Because the point of this is like, even if you don't qualify, we're trying to tell you this is what you need to do so that you can qualify eventually. So that you can meet people. There are going to be panel discussions. Like the head of like JP Morgan is going to be there. The head of LinkedIn Ireland is going to be there. Pretty senior people who look like us. You'll be surprised.
What date is this? 13th of October.
13th of October.
If you're listening, 13th of October.
So there's some pretty senior people in Ireland that like, this is one thing I love about what we do at APNI, especially through our mentorship program, is really giving visibility to those roles you mentioned, but to the people who can actually mentor us. Because, you know, like I work in, I won't say the name of my company as well. But I work in sustainability investing. I work for a company that invests in clean energy, right? So on the investment team. And like, you know, I would have never thought there was any other black person in Ireland doing this. It was until like one of my good friends, he put me in touch with a black guy, African black guy, who was pretty senior in the space in Ireland. And that completely changed a lot of things for me, because now I had somebody who looked like me, who was like head of strategy for a big company that I could call up for advice.
And bounce off and like know that, oh shit. And even know that there's another trajectory that I can hit.
Yeah. Like I had a really big career decision to make last year about like, whether to take a role or not take a role. And I called him and gave me sound advice that has paid off. I can imagine if I didn't have him, I'd have definitely taken that role. You know what I mean? And now 6 months later, or you know, however many months, 9 months later, now where I am now in my career, which is where I would have been. Obviously, I don't know what the road not taking would have taken me to. But I know where I am now anyway, based on the advice he gave me. So like the importance of being able to give visibility so that people like us can see these other people you know, who are more senior, who've already traveled that road, and give that guidance. And that's really what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
And to piggy off, but to piggy off what you said, like information is power. In our community, we tend to keep information to our... Why we hoard?
I had this conversation on Saturday with my boy.
It's not even just information. We like hoarding stuff, but when it comes to information, especially in a country like Ireland, where we're still in the inception over a lot of industries and infrastructures, this opportunity of Career Day is another way to see what is out there, what is available to you, especially if you're a person from either the black community, the traveling community, or of a diverse marginalized community, where you might not think all these things are available and even possible for you to achieve. And you're seeing people same color as you, same age, same background even, because a lot of us be like, oh, I didn't have college experience. Like one of the recruiters, the panelist that's gonna be on, she was a journalist in Brazil, and now she's a recruiter here. What led to that transition? Do you know what I mean? So there's so many different things that, especially I think COVID has changed, opened our understanding that there's a lot more to life that you can do, but how do you get there?
Yeah.
How do you get there? And I think what we want to do then is just show people how you can, either through your CV, through interview, through networking with recruiters, that it is possible to transition to whatever industry that you want to go into.
And that's great, like to have that sort of initiative as well, because I think kind of company mantras as well has evolved a lot too, and the way they kind of like push on inclusivity and diversity and stuff, because like I think a lot of and if you take a second to think about in every single industry where black people have tried to enter into, there's been a lot of the reason why we hoard information from other black people and protect ourselves is because a lot of these companies only turn around and says, well, we can only have really one black guy here as representation.
Because we feel like they have to hit their quota. That's the only reason why I'm here.
But remember how small the quota was a few years ago, though. That's why there's still kind of that level of, like, it's still ingrained in like black people to hoard information. That's why I think it's great that there's like a specific like African network that's pushing right.
Also, I
was saying like you've this opportunity, like it's all across this dashboard that I was even helping with. So
also, I think it's just one of those situations where I don't want to bring someone in, then they fuck up. It's like, oh, they
and then
I hear that.
I was like,
look
at your man's.
That's a very, very valid point.
Because we are not. For some reason, we're not a representative of ourselves. We're also a representative of like our community. So if I'm the black person at work, I feel like for the next black person to get a chance, I have to be good or likable at my job. Like, whereas,
but isn't that a lot of pressure, boys? Because
it is.
Our Caucasian counterparts don't have to worry about.
But that's our life.
I mean,
it's our life. I mean, I think that's a very, very powerful point you make, because like, you know, even that the quota thing you mentioned, I think at some points in the past, I'm pretty sure maybe before my time there was, but I think actually a lot of companies have moved past that for a while. I think a lot of it is us, it's self-inflicted in terms of this coded information, and it could be a bit of it could be what you've mentioned, where it's like, first of all, we're not sure how much we can share. We don't want to like mess up our own opportunities, but also it's about a case of being careful who you share with, because you know the representative. I get that as well, but I think like, you know, ultimately most people, like, you know, if you think about a lot of people that will come to you asking you for opportunities that they want to work in your company, you can have an honest conversation with the person if you don't think they're good enough, right? If you like I have people who come to me and tell me they want to work in investment or whatever, and I say like, you need to have these qualifications. If you can't, there's no point in me even trying to get into my company, right? It won't work out for you because you won't be able to cope with the environment. But then secondly, I think like it's also about letting the person know, okay, what do you need to do to be able to perform properly as well. I think holding information doesn't help anyone.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Even when you find out in a lot of situations that I was talking about with a friend of mine recently. Companies want you they don't want you to share stuff like salaries with other people because they know it's going to put you in a
competition with
position to negotiate. So you find out in companies, people at the same level, you find out the disparity in salaries.
Bro, that's crazy.
Why don't we talk? Why is that a thing? Why don't we talk about
imagine you
it?
just told your colleagues, people at your level, your salary. What do you have to lose? You have nothing to lose.
Listen.
I
was in my last job.
I tweeted about this like a month ago. So just tell me what you earn so I can negotiate.
In my last job,
everyone is better off.
What's called my last job? Yeah, I was making a certain amount, whatever, and me and this other black guy, and we were just chatting, like, because I think it was one of the few days we were out in the office. I was just chatting to him. I was like, yeah, blah 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 blah. I was like, what'd you make? He told me he made about like 9 or 10 more than I did for the same job. I said, bro,
same experience though.
And the worst part about it is they talked me down from what I originally wanted.
Wow.
So I was like, say swear. Notice went to the next
But honestly, like, don't ever take it personal because they're doing their job.
Yeah, it's a business.
It's up to you.
They have made the smartest system ever. Yeah. You guys can't talk about this. It's bad.
Yeah. Exactly.
So we can fuck everyone over. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And like, because I don't have a problem with like saying how much I make and shit like that. But I know everyone else does. I'm like, why are people so worried about like? If you know how much I make and you know how much I make, I don't make less.
Yeah.
Like,
so in situations like that, can I ask, is it based on your experience then, or is it just based on your skill set? Because I don't see why the next man should be getting more than me.
I can only speak in my field. Sometimes it is a bit of experience. Like some guy that's been there 6 years, but obviously because your salary does increase yearly too, so you get maybe a 5 to 10% bump a year based on performance. So if you have 6%, if you were there for 6 years, you say you've got the max 10% every year. So what you're getting into someone that's coming in on an entry level or 2 years in, even if they got the same increase rate, but because they came in, they won't have.
But then why are we doing the same job?
But also sometimes
if you're more experienced than me, why are we doing the same job?
Sometimes your experience might be more than me, but not enough for the next level. And also sometimes it's just about.
So you might be closer to the next level than you because there's more experience.
It's also sometimes just about
more
what you can negotiate. You know what I'm saying? Like,
to be honest, that's it. It's like 9% of the time it's like 75% of my job is negotiation. You'd be shocked how many people negotiate against themselves.
Bro.
Wow.
Like, go into against themselves.
Yeah, everybody in this room I'm sure has done at some point until you learn better. Maybe for some people
teach me how. How do I know to negotiate?
So
lie
for
to
example,
recruiters. Tell them you make more than you make.
Oh, that's standard.
Not even to lie.
Nobody told me that in the first place.
Oh.
And I'm telling
I always like at least 10, 15K.
Recruiter told me, oh, how much do you make? I said, oh, I make 25K. He said, all right, cool. Then we'll try and get you something on 30. But if I tell him my work, I'm on 30, he's going to try and push for the 35. And that's what it's going to be.
You're saying you don't even need to lie?
My brother, even lying, or giving them a higher number, you don't even know because let's say that role was going to pay you 35. Now you've gone higher, you've said 25. The recruiter is saying, thank you, Lord. Because now I can pay you $5,000 less. Don't tell them how much you make. They don't need to know.
Yeah,
they make you feel like you have to tell them. You've already started negotiating against yourself. Because you've already told.
This is why we need to.
Wait, are you saying don't tell them that?
It's none of their business.
Why is that relevant?
But that feeds into the negotiating tactic. Like because if I hike what I'm actually on by 10,
but let me tell you something.
It might actually hit the target that I'm looking for.
One very fundamental rule in negotiating is let the other person state their price first.
Yeah.
And who's the other person?
The recruiter. Ask them what is the band for this role. You tell me what you're willing to pay. Then I'll
let you know about it.
Why is that the price you don't like though? Like, because I'm just asking you a genuine question. Like, because you're saying that you're best off not telling the price. Is it good to at least maybe mention salary expectation? Does that keep it quite ambiguous?
Honestly, I wouldn't even do that. Like, unless it's like, let's say you were applying.
Just keep saying no, more or less.
No, ask them first. So they ask you, what's your expectation? Tell me that it really depends. The best response is something like, it really depends on what the requirements are of the role and the overall package. How about you tell me what your salary range for this role is?
Because I remember one time I was
He's your friend and you need to get this information.
Hey, listen.
Are you holding information from off, man?
In the same community, you know?
Years ago, whatever, I was talking to one recruiter. He said, what's your salary expectations? I said, 40? He said, okay.
My okay,
my brother, don't feel bad. It happens to all of us.
No, everybody
happens to all of us.
Do you know when someone just says, okay, it's like, oh yeah.
I just remember The Office. John goes to Michael, if anybody's watched The Office. He's trying to get the raise, the episode where he's trying to get the raise, and he's like, Daryl's like, come on, man, he's been here for years. And then he tries to, and she goes, okay, but I need you on record that you asked for 15%, so I can give you the 10 that you wanted. So like that's when I ask for a lot more. Ask for a global expectation. Like ask for 20%, so you get 50.
I see what you get.
Yeah, it works,
bro. Like it's one of those things where I had to realize, like at the end of the day, you really have to ask and you shall be given.
Jordan can't get over it.
But on the day, we actually have a panel discussion on performance review and compensation negotiation. And it's very interesting because like people who are going to be in that panel, people who have a lot of experience in this, so like I highly recommend. So it's not just for people who are looking for jobs, but even if you just want to learn more about this stuff, you should definitely try and come in.
Like it's called career day in the sense that like anything to do with either your career or the career that you're trying to go to, we're going to try and cover as much areas we can within that. And yeah, what were you going to say there?
Are you guys going to have a panel about like work politics? Because that when I got into my first job and I realized that there's really office politics and this is a huge thing, I was like, so I can't just show up and do my job.
My thing is work politics. I just stay out of it. Like I don't part.
To be honest, you're gonna have to play it though.
Yes, I agree.
You do. Oh no, it depends on where you want to go.
It depends on what you want.
Do you plan on staying on that job? If you don't plan on staying on that job, you don't need to. You don't need to.
Yeah.
But if you're actually really trying to get
progress
and
progress,
in
and
this company,
Do you not feel like you're twerking for stew when you do that?
bro,
It's
you
the
have
game.
to twerk for this too.
Let me tell you. So when my first job, I worked for like a pretty big company, and I graduated at the beginning of recession. Everybody wanted the job, so you feel very happy. And you know, I'm one of those guys that you probably hate to work with because the guy who is going to do the
I'll
most-
work you. Oh no! Hey manager, I have it done.
I can pick that up.
Who wants more, bro?
I'm definitely complaining about you.
I thought that would be good enough.
He added a new process.
You know, making my work more efficient.
But have you thought about? And then you know, I thought that would be good enough, you know, because I've done that all my life, my academic life. Right, just I work everyone. Right? Will Smith has a quote where he says, "I can't guarantee that I'm the best actor in the world, but I can guarantee that if you put me on a treadmill with the best actor, I'll rather die than him beat me. I'm that hardworking."
So you're a hardworking
That's
person.
always my thing.
And because
I'm
it
like,
worked
I'm
for
not
you.
smartest, but like, yo, I will study.
I'll work.
That would be first.
So because it worked for you up to a stage, so you
It
were like,
works for you up to stay. It works for
the
you
key.
in school.
And then you
What
get
they
to
don't teach you in school, in real life, is the other stuff. And
Yeah,
that's what
yeah.
I remember when I had my first review session and I got my rating, and my rating was I met expectations, which is good, but I was like, what the hell do you mean I met expectations?
Man was expected the
Like,
4 or
I-
the 5.
no,
like,
I mean, I know that I work. Not as I work, my results were better than everybody else. So how can you tell
So
me?
you weren't satisfied enough. You
I wasn't satisfied, and I'm very happy. This is why it's very important to have like mentors and stuff. And the lady who my performance review manager who just liked me, she just told me like, to be honest, it's because you know you need to kind of be more social. You need to go to these events. You need to network more with the partners. All these
Okay.
it was on a big account.
question.
It is.
Question.
You get to-
Why is social part important
because
to
people
the
want to feel like
job?
you're part of the
Yes.
It's
It-
actually nearly the most.
Everybody wants to
Sorry?
work with people that.
It's nearly the most important.
What's called
Honestly.
The most?
think
Nerdy.
about
Yeah.
it this way.
If you're really liked and you're okay at your job, it's better than
progress
being
quicker.
unliked than being great at your job.
Think about it this way.
People care how you make them feel. So if you make people feel good on a daily,
But you could
even
be
if you're average,
You could literally be a serial killer and pretend.
But this is
yeah,
the
but
time to
everybody's
give
pretending
them
at work.
that.
Everybody's pretending at work.
Think about it this way, yeah. Everyone wants, like, you spend more time with the people that you work with than your family, more time in life. Do you get what I'm saying?
yeah.
You want to work with somebody
100%.
that you like. Do you get what I'm saying? So unless you are so much better than everybody else, that it's not even a conversation. I'm always gonna go with the person that I can have a conversation with at lunch.
I'd rather
Do you know
hire
what I'm saying?
Dej because even if Dej is just okay at the job and you're elite, but me and Dej can talk about football.
It's personable,
We can
yeah.
go out for drinks after.
know
You
what I'm
just go home.
Yeah,
Like,
we
I'd
can
rather work with
confide-
Dej.
We can confide in each other.
Bro,
Yeah, go on with it.
think if let's say
It's
on
the
a scale
game.
on a
I
scale
know,
of 10,
I
right?
get it.
If let's say on a scale of 10, right? Let's say you're a 7, but you're a 5, but I can have a 2-hour conversation with you. I'm always gonna pick the 5.
Yeah,
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Boys, don't get me wrong. I get it. Sure, even the job I'm in now, I remember the interview was for like 45 minutes, and for 30 minutes we're talking about football because he supported Liverpool
Exactly.
and I supported United, and that's how I got the job the next day. But I get that you do have to play the game.
Yeah.
But boys, how sustainable is playing the game.
After a while, it doesn't feel like a game.
I think it's a balance though, because
Then
I've met
that's
people-
scary.
No, but I've met
See,
people.
in 9 to 5, it's cash money. It never runs out. This
This guy says,
No, I was just gonna say it's a bit of a balance though, just
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I don't want to give people the wrong message and just play the game. Don't do any work.
Yeah,
Just
be
talk about
social.
football. Talk about football. You make it to CEO. No, but like it's balanced though, because you have to, because I've met people, unfortunately. I think these are things that obviously it's very important that we have these conversations, because I've met people who focused on playing the game, but they didn't build those hardcore skills. And now they've made it to a reasonably, mid management senior enough level. But then you get found out, right? And then it's just terrible. Because you're like, how don't you know how to do this calculation or this piece of analysis?
Yeah,
Because you always have someone.
but I know every stat Ronaldo and Messi has to still roll 8.
Yeah.
But also
I
at
get that
the
too.
flip side, what happens to a lot of so I work in finance. I can only use financial terminology, but like in terms of roles. But if you notice in finance in the US, for example, in big markets, a lot of people in the kind of hardcore mathematical roles would be like Asians, like Asians, black people, like who are like doing the hardcore numbers, right? A lot of people who are like the senior guys, like the partners, the guys who are going to
Calling
do
the
deals,
shots.
meet clients, would typically be white people. And that's mainly because
the social aspect.
Exactly.
Whereas in our culture, even like when you're studying,
good
you're
at
in your books, you're in your books.
you don't know
you
how
don't go
to
play
do the-
football. You come back and you study. Whereas like that little aspect where the white people they're encouraged to do extracurricular activities
Exactly.
because it had them learn to build rapport and be around people.
And when you want to break certain levels
yeah.
in your career, and this is where when we start to analyze this more critically, we find out that some of the stuff is not even. It's cause and effect. It might seem like it's because you're black that certain things are not happening for you, but ultimately it's because you can't relate on certain levels. You don't play golf. You don't go on ski trips.
I always talk
you
about
can't have
this.
those
You don't go to the
conversations.
pub every Friday.
You know what I mean?
don't do shots.
So and because of your own cultural setup, of course, I grew up in Nigeria. Why the hell am I going skiing? You know what I mean? I've never, you know what I mean? Like,
What is snow?
I hear that.
like, or even the things
I grew up in Nigeria. Why the hell am I going skiing?
but I've had to, but I know, like, okay, if I'm going to be able to go out and win clients and do deals and all this stuff, I need to be able to talk to the people who have money, and the people who go golfing.
Sorry, another office reference, like when Jim went to play golf.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I think like that's kind of like it's the balance though. It's like you
Yeah,
have
it
to
reminds
have-
me of
I think the
like,
office is just a great analogy
Bro,
for
actually, it's so
because I
bad.
actually work with someone that's like Dwight Schrute, and I was like, you
Oh,
are
wow,
you
you're
are
right.
bro.
You're
How are
gonna
you
Dwight.
feeling if someone calls you
Oh,
Schrute
that's
though?
funny.
I've never had-
Dwight,
nope.
No, how are you feeling if someone calls you Dwight? So I remember we were at drinks and we were doing like,
Dwight.
who would be who in the office, and someone went straight to me, oh yeah, Dave would be Jim. And someone
That's
said-
cool. That's a cool reference.
You
take that.
Jim.
Jim's the cool guy.
Yeah, he'd be Jim. And they turned around to one of the girls and go, yeah, you'd be such a Dwight. He's like, "Hey, Dwight, bro.
That's a scent.
Bro,
That's a
you know
viral.
how much
Wait,
of a
wait, wait.
violation?
Dwight's good at his job.
Yeah, but it's Dwight.
But that, okay, Dwight is okay.
Yes,
I know I said it's important to have hard skills, but Dwight
No.
is a bit much.
Dwight just kissed
Dwight is a bit much.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm definitely not.
No,
I think
just-
you're probably thinking I'm a Dwight now because I said I'm
I'll
not
take a
Dwight.
gym. I'll take a gym.
on that point, like I always
Nah, you're an
reference,
Oscar.
I always reference a LinkedIn post I saw. It was saying something about a Muslim girl who was working hard and she'd work long hours until till 8. But there was another co-worker who wasn't working on site, but he was okay at his job. But he would go for drinks with the manager after.
So important.
Relatable. And she could, like, her culture essentially didn't allow her to go for drinks.
Let me
They
say
don't
one
drink.
thing that's going to be slightly controversial. If you don't have anything significantly against drinking, go for those drinks.
Yeah.
Man, when I started going for drinks with my colleagues, my
that's
God,
man.
especially where you live, if you live in Ireland, and let me
Yeah.
tell you something, I believe that God blessed me or my forefathers blessed me with the ability to not get drunk. So I can hang out with these folk and I would drink and I would buy around.
Just
and you
let
have to-
them spill the
Do
secrets.
you know what I mean? They will
Yeah.
love you. They will remember you the next day. They had that great night out.
It loosens up the conversation.
Yeah, listen, when you want to ask for a
Big
promotion, you're talking to your buddy, let's grab
Yeah,
lunch.
yeah, yeah.
You know, you could pull him aside. Jim, come on, like you know,
Yeah,
I want this.
Deji was asking me, how do your colleagues, because when I left, they bought me like a J. Cole jumper, they bought me NFL jerseys,
wow.
and they're like, how do you get your colleagues
Go-
to do
go
that?
for
It's like,
drinks.
it's those drinks, bro.
Go for drinks.
You share those
And
drinks.
don't
with
be
them
the
when you
first
have
to
a
go
good
home.
time.
Do not be the
I'm always
first
the
to
first.
go
I'm
home.
always if I'm going, I'm leaving soon.
No,
Because
no, no,
you know
hang
what I
around.
hate. You
You're
know what
doing it
I
wrong,
hate.
Hang
I
around.
hate those that first hour or so before everyone gets loose or whatever. Yeah. So
you just gotta get through the first hour, man.
If you're gonna go home,
The second after someone suggests tequila shots, it's getting loose.
if you're gonna be the first to go home, make sure everyone else is absolutely locked.
So they don't remember when you left.
Like I always watch this. There's always a moment where you had this realization where you needed to do this. Do you remember that was where you knew I need to do APNI? Is that the acronym is right? APNI. Yeah. So is that what do you remember the moment that you were like, I need to get into this? Because obviously you came here later. I actually want to also ask you about growing up here, or not African and coming here. But later on, this one first. Do you remember why you were like, no, I need to get into this? Yeah.
To be honest, I've always, whenever anybody calls me for like advice or anything like that, I'm always very happy to help. But I think when I realized I'm trying to remember what year it was. I think I got back from, when was this? I'm trying to remember. I believe it was 2018. So I just had a very intense year at work. And a friend of mine reached out. He was looking to start you guys might know Hoke. I don't know if you guys have heard about Hoke. It's an investment club.
No.
You should check it out. Actually, his name is Joey. He was actually the former president of APNI. Actually, and he started Hoax. They invest in different businesses, like startups. Pretty cool. And
like angel investing in it.
Yeah, but actually before they launched it, he was talking to me about it. We're rubbing ideas off each other and all that stuff. And then just from talking, I realized about how much the landscape had changed in terms of African professionals in Ireland. And just French professionals. I looked around and I realized there's a director at Google who's a black woman. Right, there's VPs in Bank of America and all these places. So another black woman, they're partners in EY and Deloitte, a black man. And I'm like, my goodness, it's you just wake up and you realize that, oh my goodness, because rewind 10 years ago,
none of that.
So I'm just man, and I saw because I knew somebody who was running AP, or who he wasn't running it at the time, but he had recently been running APNI, and I was like, man, this has so much potential, mainly because I just kept thinking about myself. And when I finished uni, when I was coming towards the end of uni, it was 2012. I was looking for a job. Ireland was still in a bit of a recession. We didn't have LinkedIn or any sort of stuff. I remember a few of my college friends and I, we were hustlers, man. We found a way. I studied accounting and finance. We just wanted to get an internship or something. So we went to this, I don't know if it still exists, there's a registry board of companies in Ireland. You can download this and you can filter by accounting firms. And we downloaded all these companies, their addresses, and we just printed loads of CVs. And we used to go to these offices, the actual work physically. The ones in Dublin, we go hand in CVs and everything. Wow. And it was gruesome. It sounds cool.
It sounds like the trenches.
No, it's so desperate.
Growing up, being a professional with LinkedIn and hearing that, I was like, man, I would have given up.
No, thank God for GDPR rules, because CVs used to be desperate.
Oh man,
are you taking it? Will you take it?
Oh man,
don't take it.
Do you know what?
I literally saw one bin 30 seconds or a minute.
It's like,
bro,
yeah.
The worst part about it is, I spent 20 cents per page. If you don't want to,
just let me know. Let me know.
I think in my college it was free, I believe, to print, so we just took advantage.
It might be started doing free. We had to pay. We had to book credit and pay our
Anyway,
But basically, so we did all that, and then you don't hear back. Then you go to them, hand it. Then you email the CV as well.
You must know what
I mean? Then luckily we're able to get jobs. But I was thinking about that entire process. Within my first year, to an extent, I feel like what I'm doing now as an investment manager and infrastructure investor, private equity. What I did for the first years of my career, I probably didn't have to do it to get here, but I didn't have anybody to tell me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I didn't even know. I knew that I always knew I wanted to work in finance investing, but I didn't know exactly. It's so broad.
And you didn't know how to get there.
Right? So I was just like, man, I think the demand and the supply is there. You have the supply in terms of all these pretty senior executive people, and we just need to create a community so that we can help each other. And then you have a lot of young people coming up as well who I feel should be in a better position. And that was the moment I was just like, yeah, I have to get involved in this.
No, shout out, man. Because even I remember 2017, just when we started doing podcasts, we got nominated by APNI for entertainer of the year or a category. And that was our first time being nominated for anything. But even it was more so because we were recognized by our peers, and it was for us, by us, in terms of the community.
Fubu.
And even going back then, you taking it away from the professional aspect, their vision was just we have to empower our Black community. And I feel like it's just gone on leaps and bounds. And even how I got involved with APNI, it was like...
I disturbed you. I have no shame. I reach out to people.
Bro, I was like...
Shane hasn't gotten anybody.
Has nothing. But it's just like, I've always seen APNI as like, I would love to be involved in something like this that helps our people and helps the community. And yeah, it's a great team, if I have to say. And I was...
We're hiring.
Yeah.
Anybody watching, listening.
Listening.
If you're passionate and you like hard work, it's hard work. I'm not gonna lie.
You're hiring for.
We're actually looking for someone to help us with corporate relations. I mean, I didn't even think I'll plug this, but so corporate relations. So we have a lot of companies who reach out to us who want to work with us.
Yeah.
We need somebody full time to like just communicate with these companies, like figure out how we can work with them.
Actually, I have a friend that does.
So we have someone on the team who was in that, but she's transitioning to something else from the team. So we need someone to take that up. We need someone to help us with our like managing like our websites as well. It could do with the revamp.
Yeah. I need my face on there now.
Yeah. So we definitely need we're calling it a webmaster. But the good thing about APNI, whatever title you want, we'll give it to you. Just join. just join and do a good job. That's the fun thing.
And go for drinks with the boss.
Go for drinks. It's a very high performance
Oh,
team.
I learned the hard way with that one.
Yes, yeah.
No, I also want to ask, because you said you were in Ireland as a college student. Was obviously growing up in Africa and then coming here. I was here since I was 6-7 years old. Like, I don't know, born here for a long time. Was it the culture shock? Was there a culture adjustment or a shock period for you coming to?
To be honest, there wasn't much of a culture shock. So I had never been to Ireland before, but I had traveled, to like England, the US. So it wasn't too much. Probably the biggest shock was
The cold.
not even the cold. To be honest, the biggest shock for most people like me who grew up in a country where everyone is Black is that you realize you're Black when you leave.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's usually the thing.
Is there a moment,
especially
when you
people
realize
who've traveled before? So like I've been here for holiday, not Ireland, but I've been to England a couple of summers, the US, whatever. So, but then when you leave and then you're living there and you see the realities of Black people or a Black person living in this, society, and I'm not out here to do any kumbaya story or anything like that.
Let's hold hands.
I'm just saying, in general, because coming from Nigeria, you don't have any inferiority complex, you don't have any second-class citizen complex as a result of race. You might have it as a result of your socioeconomic class. Maybe you're not as rich as the next guy, but you don't have it as a result of race.
Essentially.
Sorry?
But we're all Black.
We're all Black. Do you know what I mean? But then you come to a place like this and you realize that in certain situations you might be looked at a bit differently. That's probably the biggest culture shock, to be honest. But not. I remember the first time I was called the N-word.
Jeez.
Yeah. I've never been called the N-word.
Did you fight him?
That was a girl.
What?
My second week in Ireland, I was fresh in. Like, I was looking like, I can't control the defense.
She said, "Oh, you knew fresh meat." Fresh meat, crazy.
But so wait, you haven't called nigger yet?
Aye, let me diverge you.
Yo, man.
It's actually an Irish induction, yeah.
Yo, dude. Like, it was like, it wasn't even I'm pretty sure it was like my second week or something. Because when I moved, I lived with a host family for like the first few months. And I just got off the bus. I'll never forget. It's the bus from Port Marnock. Got off close to Lower Abbey Street. Walking down. Yeah. And I'm new, so I'm trying to figure out like the street names and everything. Because I was going to, my first uni was DB. I did a year in DBS. I went to Griffith College. I'm walking down. I don't know if I was in her way. I'm not sure what the story was. She didn't seem like she was on it, though. She might have been drunk or something. I don't know. She was young enough from memory, and she was like, I don't even like to say it, man, but she was like, you fucking yeah.
How do you feel in that moment? Because it's the first time you're 2 weeks in.
Man, do you know the crazy thing? The crazy thing, right, is like I wasn't immediately offended.
You said sorry.
No, I didn't even say sorry. But I was honestly because
It
like
register.
it doesn't register because this is a different conversation that might get controversial, but even just around this whole like N-word thing about how sometimes we might be borrowing trauma from African Americans as Black people. That's a whole different conversation. But like immediately because I'm a guy coming from Nigeria where everyone's Black and like I heard people say nigga in music videos. Like, I'm like, okay. But I heard rappers, I heard Black music. Like that's my only experience with the word nigga. Like
I think it is one of those ones where also you don't think it's true until it happens to you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was just like,
You were in disbelief.
No, it's
And
so
at first, I was like, why is she so mad?
Not even that. Why did she call me that?
I'm like,
Why
yo,
did
I
that-
hate bad, bro. Like, you need to chill.
Because many people we're used to microaggressions these days.
Yeah.
That's subtle racism. Back when it was overt,
Overt.
like it was on sight. Like
Guys,
it was
I
like,
will tell you, there was a weekend the N was just being blasted at me, and it was at
Over a weekend.
bro.
Where were you?
I tell you, this was.
Guy was in Mississippi.
I was in there.
Alabama.
The funny thing is, it started in Dublin and followed me to Galway.
That's wild, man.
I'll tell you. So the first one, it started playing football. We were on the pitch.
Yeah, now you damn.
Oh, that's usually that's calm. That's calm.
That was just-
that was the standard.
got used to
Right.
it.
And
Football
because they used to say to put me off. Grand. Cool. So that was it was like a college football tournament thing. I don't know what they call it now, Collingwood or something. I don't know. But we went to play that in Maynooth, right? So that happened on the pitch. Calm. We're going back to the hotel. There was revolving doors, and I think we kind of hesitated. It was me, Ebenezer, at the time.
The geezer.
Yeah, the big booty squeezer.
With the freezer.
Rules like Caesar. But anyways, yeah, it was like revolving doors, and we were kind of like, oh, I think it was like a split second, and then all I hear is one old man's like, "Hurry up, you're bleeding." I was like, we looked at each other, was like, wait, what's happening
Wait
today?
a minute. Wait
What?
a minute.
That was in the space of like 2-3 hours. Bear in mind, right? So that was on a Friday. Saturday we played the match. Maybe got called again, but Saturday night we get to Galway. I'm walking Ebenezer back to his yard because he's like around the corner. There's this guy, Matthew. We know him. Like neighborhood traveler. Like we know him. But that evening, why? Why would you call us the N-word? It was like he was trying to talk to us and we weren't in the mood because obviously. And then he was like, "Yeah, you're bleeding." We lost it. We had to go fight him.
How many of you?
2, but then there was 6 of them, and then one brought out a knife. So yeah, it got cut short pretty quick.
You don't remember like
Yeah, fingers.
the creative.
You know, I
ones.
think sometimes your loyalty to being aggravated by being called the N-words gets tested sometimes. You don't know who calls you and where they call you.
I think where is
And I
important
think
as well.
wisdom is important.
yeah.
I think that was not wisdom. I think fighting 6
I'm not
brothers,
gonna lie, dude.
all they do is box. That's all they do.
No, you don't. No, I hear. It was.
You get
It was
hustle, they
it
still
was the
win.
straw that broke the camel's back.
It was
Because it was like a weekend. It was like
Yeah,
I just
no, I
went to
get it,
play
I get it, I get
football.
it.
Yeah.
On the
I'm like,
football pitch, you actually began to expect it, especially if you're like anyway decent or good.
Yeah,
you began to expect it, and you're like they're just
they're just trying to
it's
rile
gonna
you up.
happen. They're trying to rile you up, and
It's tactics.
yeah, it's like
But I just want to clarify one thing because I don't know where this podcast is going to go. So I was offended.
Do you know what? Yeah.
And I know
Before he finishes, I was literally thinking, did you get down halfway down the street? I'm like, wait. Do you know the Arthur? That's literally what he just did there. I was actually offended.
I was offended because someday this girl be like, oh, this successful black man doesn't care about anyone. You know the way like the
They're full of
internet.
receipts.
You know what I mean? So I just want to clarify. Make sure you keep this in.
You're right.
Make sure you keep this in.
Man's cancellation.
Cancel culture is wild.
We hold too much obligation to retaliate from it because anytime I happen, it's been eating me up all day. I'm literally like, bro, this guy definitely called me the N-word. I just walked by him. I should have thought, what?
I should have thought.
I should have thought. I
You know what's crazy as well? Sometimes it's kind of like if they call you that, no one else heard that. But when you punch them in the face, everyone knows that you punch them in the face.
You know what? All of a sudden,
that?
the N-word has
Because the
disappeared.
thing is, like that old man that if both of you guys hopped on him,
It would have
don't
been
get
an issue.
arrested.
And the thing is, because we knew the guy, we knew Matthew, so it's like, bro, like we see you every day. Why
He knows his name.
today?
He knows his
It's
name.
because
Yeah.
he knew he had 5 man and a knife on him. Like, but actually,
We didn't.
With you growing up in Nigeria, did you go boarding school?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Everybody that I know that has gone to boarding school has come home with some.
What was your
some
experience?
form of hilarious
Yeah.
story. So what was your experience?
what, sir?
with board- They always come. There's always hilarious stories from people.
Yeah.
boarding
Oh
schools.
man, where do I start?
So what was your experience in boarding school like?
I mean, to be honest, I at first it was tough. So I was really young. So I think you guys maybe have restrictions against that here, but like in Nigeria, when I was growing up anyway, from a pretty young age, if they think you're halfway decent in school, they throw you to secondary school. They don't even care that you're
They let you skip years.
So I was pretty I was 10 when I started like secondary school, right? So
sorry.
no, I'm not saying it's in a good way. I think it was ridiculous.
He said you work harder than everybody else.
No, I think it was ridiculous though, because I was very, very young. You know what I mean? I was a baby. You know what I mean?
Then that would convert over to Ireland, if I'm not correct.
Sorry?
Like, say if you were in secondary school, you moved up quick from Nigeria. For instance, you moved to Ireland. Then you still have to it's like your education converts over. Because I just remember.
So. I'm not sure to be honest.
I'm not too sure, but I just remember Nigerian guys coming in and are good 2 years younger than us, like nearly like one of my
maybe.
No, because every time I've seen someone come from Nigeria and come here, bro, like especially in primary school, they were always so far ahead.
Well, but to be honest, they kind of cram you with a lot of like super hard stuff at a young age.
A lot of it is unneeded as well. I feel
some of it is unneeded. Like the math that I was doing in like primary 5, I'm not sure what the equivalent, because I never did primary 6. Like math I was in there, I'm pretty sure I was in like junior high school math already. Then you have like further maths when you get to like senior secondary.
my guy was doing Pythagoras theorem in second class.
But my point is like, so I was pretty young, so it was tough at first because I'm literally just, if you think about it, you're born, your first 2 years you don't really have consciousness. You come into consciousness around like 2, 3. And then you're building your first memories, and then 7 years later you're in boarding school. It's like,
when you put it like that,
it's wild. You know what I mean?
I was just bored.
But especially now, 7 years doesn't feel that long. So when you think about
I
it,
literally just did my 10th birthday with all my friends, and Spider-Man and everything, and now I'm in boarding school. So like, it was hard, like definitely. But my older sister was in there as well, and she was a cool kid, so that helps. I wasn't. She was a cool kid in
got some brownie
school.
points
So
there.
the seniors didn't come and bully you, know.
No, but then because I was so young, the seniors didn't bully me, but my classmates were bullying me. Yes, this shit was hard. Yo, I tell you,
Everybody was texting you.
yo, because like you would think that nobody would bully me. But then guess what? My sister, shout out to you, Mimi.
My mom's name, Mimi held it down.
Shout out to me. She held me down, man. Yo, she effed up some ends for me.
No, actually, you know what? My sister actually
Effed up some ends, man.
My sister,
You guys get what I'm saying?
Oh, when I was in school as well, bro, one older girl was picking on me, bro. My sister came out, sorted that shit out. Girl never looked at me.
Yo, nobody. One time, like I never forget, because they used to like try to pick on me because I was small and I was the youngest, right? And then the school I went to was a pretty decent school. Don't want to say the name because I don't get sued, but like a really good school. Like I'll tell you guys offline. You probably know people who've been to it. We had a lot of people from England, the US. Parents would send their kids there.
Oh wow.
Mainly to get them disciplined. But it was like the worst place in child to be disciplined because it was a pretty like nice place. It wasn't like, you know what I mean? You get like buffet for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, that kind of setting. But then like they were all these American kids are massive. Like,
It's all like gym movies.
you know what I mean? This American, I never forget this one time. This American kid, and I felt bad for him to be honest because of all the people that were bullying me, he was minor bully, man. Like he didn't even do anything like that bad, but he just had bad luck because one of my sister's friends saw him. I think he like. Just like maybe played with me, you know, like they used to tap your head, something like that. Something it wasn't even that deep, you know what I mean? But maybe I had the Stockholm syndrome.
Man saying, nah, he was actually calm. No, he was good. He was good.
He said it wasn't that deep. That one was fine. That means he must have been going through it.
No, jokes aside,
my head. That one is fine.
Jokes aside though, because like if you know what other people were going through in boarding school in Nigeria,
I was gonna say like everybody has been
so
bullied.
to be honest, like the worst one I did was when like some of the guys in my room, they were like these other guys in my class, and they would like they were saying like some of us can't enter the room. That was wild.
In your own room, like
that they actually
your own room.
They actually couldn't believe because I was so small. They couldn't actually believe it. Like I actually like F one of those ends up. I was like, nah, fam. Today. I know
That's the time that the episode FT's ends up.
I F those. Not all of them because they were way bigger. Just one. I picked the smallest one and I F that M up.
Wait. You have to fight within your weight class.
You know what I mean? The smallest guy, and he was still bigger than me. But I looked at him and I was like, even you. I said, you too, have you?
Did you win? Yeah.
Of course I won. had less to lose. Do you understand? So I had less to lose, man. So I was biting. I kicked him with balls. I was like, yo, man. I was like, today.
This sounds like prison rules, bro.
Yo,
You said I was biting.
yo,
I kicked him in the balls.
Sounds like Alcatraz over there, man. The fuck?
don't worry now. Like I tell all my friends today when like my friends who like grew up here, I'm like, man, the hardness and the like I won an award at work earlier this year. So in my office, like, it's a very high pressure job. They was like, why are you so calm? I won an award for being resilient. I'm like, you guys didn't go to boarding school. Like, you think this is stress?
I feel for this shit.
I'm like, you think this is stress? Like this because I'm working on this transaction. Go But anyway, back to the story. So he did the story.
That was so good. I forgot the story.
Oh god.
So yeah, like I never know if he tapped my head or if he made a joke. One of my sister's friends
Sister's
walked past while he did it. She goes to reports. Girls that they always have cliques. Goes to reports. Hi.
Long from
I
man.
came to the block because every class had their own block for classes. My sister came, I don't know. I think somebody announced that like, oh, something's about to go down.
At this stage, did you know what was about to go down?
Bro, I was there. What?
He thought he got off easy that day. Oh, I only got my head up.
No. So an angel was fighting his
I
back.
was chilling. But I was even over it. I was back with like chilling with other people. You know what I mean? Because it was weird because like, anyway, so I'm just chilling. And then next thing I just see all the people are like in the hallway. And then my sister comes. She's like, where's Adbayo? Adbayo is my full name. She's like, where's Adbayo? And then I was like, I can't think someone called me something. I came, I was like, yo, what's up? She was like, where's that tire guy, man? I heard he was messing with you. I was like, yo, chill, man. I was like, chill. She's like, where's he? And the guy comes, obviously he can't be a bitch, right? He can't like not come out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He can't, because he can't, even though he knows it's gonna be embarrassing as hell, but it was a weird position to be in because what's he gonna do? Not come out. It's a lose-lose.
Yeah.
Then he comes out, and I thought myself I was just gonna like say some really like harsh words to him. Don't ever touch my brother again, blah blah. Yo, she punches this guy in the mouth.
That's some gangster shit right there.
Gang shit all the way.
So wait. Set the scene, yeah.
I'm literally imagining it in my head.
He walks out, yeah.
Before
out. He says anything.
This is the hallway.
Set the scene.
This is the hallway. She's on this end with her friends. Then there's like people all over. There's like stairs. People are like standing around. I come out. I'm like, what's happening? She's like, don't worry. I'll find the other guy. I chill. I fall back. Then the people there. Then he comes this way. And he's still like, looking fresh, you know, American guy with his waves. Yo, Tayo, man, look, it's all good, man. I forgive you, though. It's all, but I'm sorry my sister punched you, man. He didn't deserve it, honestly. Because honestly, since that day, he's like self-esteem probably
Then he shouldn't have been picking
he probably never got over it, man. Like, till today, he's probably still scared of black women. Like, yo, Tayo, man.
Still scared of black women.
Tayo, man. I hope you made it through, bro. I hope you made it through, Tayo. But yeah, man, so he's trying to like, so she confronts him. She's like, yo, why were you talking to my brother? And then I can't remember what he said. I think he mumbled some words. And then she just, before he says anything, she's like, ever talk to I can't remember what she said. Don't ever talk to my brother against that. And she walks off. The whole class goes back. You know, kids.
But wait. You didn't get any backlash from that? From nobody else?
Man. No, my style was an OG in that school. Let me tell you.
That was good.
Respect.
What's the age difference?
I could never be as cool as her in that school ever. Like,
What's the age
always,
difference
like,
between you and your sister if you don't like?
Not that much, man.
Yeah.
11 months. But you know, girls at that age, they develop they're way more mature, way more confident, all that stuff. So it's only like she was born August and born July, so it's 11 months. Like, yeah. So we're twins for about 20 days every year.
Okay.
Or no,
How did they not clown you for that? Because in this day and age now, your sister that's pretty much the same age as you comes and fight your
But I think in Nigeria as well, in that climate, it's probably different. Cause
to be honest, like they could have probably clowned me, but I think like everyone was just like, yo man, if she can do this guy for doing nothing.
yeah, no, they were scared.
You know what?
They were scared.
But also actually, I think also a few things happened after that though. Man, you know the way all these things happen when you're a child, everything is so slow, but it actually happens pretty fast.
Yeah.
I think after that, probably gained a few, you know what I mean?
Inches,
and then I got like my first like girl that had a crush on me, so I became cool.
Oh, okay.
I discovered
I
discovered I could dance a bit.
Yeah.
And in Nigerian schools, dancing was a big thing. So we used to have this like social nights at the end of each term, and then you have to do your presentation.
Yeah.
And I was one of the dancers. So I got like some social status as well.
Okay.
So then the bullying just kind of.
That probably launched you. That launched you.
Maybe because I could always dance, but
You know what? But I will say you something. You have great comedic timing.
Yeah. Look, jokes aside, look, man. If my girl's watching this now, she's probably gonna be like, "Oh man, they should have like encouraged this." Because I keep telling her, man, midlife crisis is comedy. Every time I'm out with like friends, stuff like that, whenever I tell a good story, I'm not even gonna lie, I'm gonna go back and write some of this shit down. You know, I'm gonna be like it's gonna be one of my.
Do you know when
like
you're out
that
for those
shit.
drinks? Yeah. Do you be cracking it? You be killing the jokes when you're going out for those drinks at the work?
Oh yeah.
This guy's going to get quick. He's going up the ladder quick.
And you have to laugh at their jokes too, even when it's not funny.
Bro, I have mastered it.
I don't even do the. I do the face
guys.
inside my head.
Guys, I got caught in a situation where it's so hard for me to laugh.
Yeah.
You gotta laugh, but you also have to like do like physical stuff when you laugh.
Yeah.
Cues.
Like I just did with this.
Clap. You know what I mean? That means like, oh dude, come on, man. That's crazy.
That's too funny, bro.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's my favorite. Like, oh, that's great.
That's funny.
It works every
But
time.
Ope, you said you had some stuff to get off your chest, is it?
Ah.
Guys, no control. I beg. No controversy, guys.
No, you don't have to. We can. You don't have to talk about it.
Cut.
We ain't gonna talk about it.
Go, then you can.
Well, but like we said, this podcast goes out clean. So if you ain't gotta talk about it, Io's actually killing me right now.
Yeah, we can leave it here. People.
To be honest, like, why are you even here? You should just brought him.
I should have just let him do the talking. Like,
No way.
you know, it's my PR. That's what I do. To be honest, the climate for it now, we're all laughing and that. So let's leave it at that.
Yeah, let's leave it at that.
I don't want
I'm
to.
really scared about what
No, but like it's not even anything deep. It was just like I feel, especially the last time I was on, I was very closed off.
Yeah.
You know, and
I didn't feel like that though. I enjoyed the episode, especially talking about your dad and growing up a pastor's kid.
oh yeah,
You
no,
were really
not even
very
those,
open.
not even that. But in terms of okay, we're talking about main character. By the time this episode is out,
Oh, the show be done.
the
Yeah,
show
it's
will
next
be
week.
done.
Yeah,
Do you know what I
this
mean?
episode's out.
but like still in that theme, I was thinking about it, yeah, and I was like main character, and I get triggered, but I get jealous when you guys are like bantering with each other about like, oh, I'm the main character, whereas I was coming from a similar, how will I say, setup and familiar setting.
Yeah.
And the way this year started for me, doing a live show was one of my goals and targets. So I'm grateful for the Black and Irish for that platform. But this isn't how I envisioned doing it, especially when we're talking about being the main character. For Oman Podcast, I was the main character behind the scenes, but someone else was the main character. And I feel like he was the Beyonce of the group. And once that left, like not that there was no point in doing it, but it just lost its like, because you guys told your story about how you guys started. We taught this shit in college.
Bro, Jordan drops out this. I was thinking about this shit today. Jordan drops out this episode, this podcast done.
Right? You need that one person that like.
Yeah, that's our dynamic because me and Dej are a bit too laid back.
This guy's head about to explode.
No,
This guy's like, yeah. No. Everybody plays what he's about to do. He's about to fake modest.
No.
He's like, yeah,
I'm not faking modest. I'm not faking
nigga.
modest. Everybody understands the role. They're better. I suck at the technical side. I know this. I've sucked at it. I tried to record an episode. We got 6 minutes. So I know my role. But what I do is I make up for it because I know this like the editing and the video can be time tedious. So I'm like, I have to make up for from the audio department. So like the admin side, contacting the guests and scheduling. Like I know because in my head, maybe it's because I'm insecure and I know I can't do what they do. So I have to make up for it another aspect, like the organization, the clips, the being on top of them. Because if you ask me now, take this episode and go edit it. I don't know, like when you guys will like the visuals maybe it's a bit harder, but the audio, it's not just fake modest. I know what I'm good at or where I can elevate the podcast. I know my strengths. I know that's not my strength. So where else can I put my good work in? You
Jordan
know?
was missing 1 week. That's the miss.
Everything fell apart.
That is the week that we missed.
Really?
I swear, it was missing 1 week. Me and this nigga didn't even. There was no. When are we going to record?
You guys didn't even
Like, Jordan's not around 3 days. Hey.
I'm like, texting Dad's like, yo, should we do it?
It's like I think it was like 2 days before we needed to drop. Are we recording this?
Don't get me wrong. In other, like we said, in other departments, me and Deji.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? And we'll even like clash if something really needs to get done. Well, yeah, no, Jordan keep it ticking. He'll keep it ticking like Chavi.
Hey.
Like Chavi.
Chavi, no, you don't like Chavi.
Oh, sorry, J5.
No, sorry, you're saying about the main character though.
See even that little like interaction that you guys like, we had that, and I suppose I missed that, and I didn't expect it to be gone so quickly or so in the manner it was done. Even like we didn't even do a final episode. We didn't even do like a goodbye. We just kind of like just.
I'm gonna
went
ask, but you can
silent.
say you don't want to talk about it. What happened? Because you brought it up. It's a podcast. We make conversation. If you just want to shut it down, you can shut it down. But it's
No, like
call me
this is
fed. But we ask questions on the podcast.
no
This is your role. Play the role.
highest level of analysis the culture needs. So like, what
Just
happened?
be careful though, because if you ever plan to get back with them,
I am the main character, nigga.
Yeah,
Like what Jordan does for you guys or what he brings to the table, I was that for Oman in the sense that I literally did everything from planning the topics, admin, setting up, even like basically bringing everyone together. All my supporting acts did was just be on the couch, but they weren't supporting acts because they brought their energy, they brought their.
Everybody plays a role. Everybody, yeah, and it comes together.
Do you know what I mean? And I don't want to say.
Camera's gone. Yeah. We'll just keep it running.
Nah, it's grand.
Yeah,
But just to bring about what happened, like I think everybody saw with. Eesh, I just dropped it. Can you
No,
please?
No, yeah.
Just the name,
yeah,
just the name.
yeah.
But like with him, or with said person, it was surprising because the way you guys were watching on socials is how we were. But then obviously on the other hand, we were trying to help and trying to do the things that we felt were possible. But in this country, it's very hard to get someone help if they don't want the help. So eventually we hit a, what do you call that? Brick road or like a slump in terms of like, now it's affecting me, you know? And what a lot of people don't know is I actually had to go to therapy. And I only started that 2 weeks after the episode we did because I was there, but I wasn't there because everything was happening so fresh. So I had to, because now think about it. How long have you known each other?
Low key a decade,
How long have you known
around 5 years, 6 years, yeah.
combined?
Yeah.
My friendship with said person was 21 years.
oh wow,
Not even like working together, like
Friendship.
Oh, I thought it was the weirdest shit ever.
And you would know why.
From the moment that I've met either of you,
We're
it was
inseparable.
always it was always that. Like,
And for me, yeah,
I'm sorry, the podcast played a part in that.
huge part.
Essentially.
Huge part. I feel, I don't want to speak for said person, but like I feel he, like you said, what Joe said, if you're not treating this like a full-time job, you're not going to, when it's time to
Yeah, when it's time to get paid, like
paid,
yeah.
do you know what I mean? That analogy, we were essentially, what I tried to run it like that in the sense, fuck all the money, let's just try and be consistent with it.
And then the money will come.
But you would know, how many of us started the pod and then over the years,
Blazing Squad.
Blazing Squad and that,
There was like 8 of you, man. You guys were doing rolling
at
cells.
the strays 10, 11.
Rolling
But then that's
cells.
why I'm saying that we all our visions didn't align, but us three, me, Simba, and said person, had the same vision from get-go. So that's what stuck through. But a lot, maybe even watching Simba, how he works and seeing the level he's at, he's someone that I try to emulate in terms of
Shout out
like,
to him, man.
big shout out.
Jungle
Shout
Beam
out to
Studio.
Big
Jungle
shout out,
Beam,
man.
So
shout out
do
Jungle
you
Beam.
guys don't call him by his real name or is that allowed?
It's allowed, but like,
that is one of the best rebrands I've ever seen.
yeah.
Shout out to Tunde.
I'm telling you, from Tunde Show to Simba, best rebrand I've ever seen.
Trust me.
Shout out to Tunde Show, man.
Yeah.
I have a story about him, but sorry, keep it.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Everyone has a story. Even how he came into my life is a funny story. But like, even then, you could see the drive, the tenacity, and seeing how he works. I try to emulate that, but if everyone is not on the same wavelength, you're gonna feel alone and you're gonna feel like you're dragging it. And with this year, I'll show you guys some clips of what I've been working on, but I had so much plans for us. Because I try not to be me, because I have ideas. But like, if we're saying we're doing something together, we're doing it together. So the way everything just happened, and because it was so public, I felt not ashamed, but it was like, raw. Like, now our names are attached to this thing, and I can't even.
What led to that?
I can't
Just
pick
the
it up.
podcast. The podcast led to what we saw on Twitter.
No, there's so many things that led to what you guys.
You know,
said
I
on
don't
Twitter.
want to everything.
But even if you guys will notice, after I did the podcast with you guys, he did another rant. It was literally after that episode, and I think it was just because this is my interpretation or taken away from, especially having close relationship. He just didn't have the drive and didn't want it as bad as the rest of us. And low key, somewhere in his reality, he's blaming us for it. And I can say that because it's happened in the past, especially when Oman has been involved, that like he hasn't fully been on board, or, you know, if you're in a team, it's kind of like Eric Ten Hag. If you're not part of this squad, you're dropped.
I was gonna use a football analogy.
You're dropped.
It's a bit like it's like either like a production chain where everybody has to be moving stuff along, or it's a bit like a football system. It's like everybody has to engage in the press. If one person's either unfit or they're not on it, that press will never happen.
See that press
in any instance. So it's a bit like that. Everybody has to be on it. It's okay that you have your work ethic. It's okay that Simba has like a work ethic there. But if a guy is there and you're carrying him, it's like it's never really gonna go into full fruition. Like never. That's the reality.
And that is the reality. And I like the analogy you used of press, because the last 2 years, I would say we were on the press, but not everybody was pressing.
Yeah.
Because we had some dope opportunities that I felt if we all pulled in the same direction, we would be on a different level. And why I'm saying I have a lot to get off my chest, because I've been trying to rebrand into breaking the cycle, but life just keeps pegging me back. I don't know if you guys seen the stuff that happened with Tunde's laptop.
Yeah.
We were working on a project, and a lot of the stuff was on his laptop, meaning couldn't bring that up, stuff like that. So not that I was triggered, but this weekend is kind of like a full circle moment that like, okay, Simba's not around. I'm back to square one of just being me. And I felt kind of open or naked. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck this shit. I'm pissed off. I'm actually vexed because I've actually put in years and hours and time. You guys know, this podcast thing.
It's also frustrating to see how podcasters are also thriving or doing well with the consistency they're showing. Because I've said it to the boys' face. I'm like, what, like watching you, because we did a podcast on Friday. I was like, where's your head? I was like, you guys set the standard. You guys made me look at this. I'm like, if we're not willing to do, if we're not willing to do it consistently or at least emulate the effort, what's the point? So that's what I'm asking you as well. Is it like frustrating to be like, look, I knew if I put in the work and I knew with my drive, I could have made progress. Not to say you were there, but I could have made some progress.
Boys, here's me being candid, yeah. And I don't want to dwell too long because I know he has set off. But like, yeah. Like seeing Where's Your Head I reach 30K.
That shit pains differently.
Brother. And I'm happy for the boys. I support, me and David have chats almost weekly. I'm so happy for the boys, and I'm grateful and happy and proud of the achievements. Yeah, I'm proud of their achievements. But obviously, personally, you'd be like, come on, I was doing this since 2017.
And it's probably the element of what could have been. The hardest thing is not facing the end or the demise of it. It's facing the potential.
I'd rather know and fail than never know.
And there's a quote I heard. It was in Latin, but basically translated: "What you create, you must sustain." And that's literally just been at the back of my head every time I want to give up. I'll be honest. I sometimes I feel like I'm done with this content thing because I'm like, I'm just so, what's the word, drained. Like, in terms of ideas, in terms of motivation, in terms of drive. You guys are lucky. You have three.
One can miss, two can do it, one can. We did a Dongo episode of that, did you?
Creating art of any kind is hard, man. It's the most, you don't get gratification for ages. You don't know if you ever get.
You never know if you'll ever come.
It's the worst investment. It's the worst investment.
But at the same,
but it's so fulfilling.
And that's the word, fulfilling, because you guys have a voice now. You have a platform, and thank you so much for sharing your platform today with us. Because someone from having Oman, I was excited every time speaking with someone because I was like, that's an opportunity to learn. That's an opportunity to gain a new perspective.
Today he killed me. He was the APN night part, very educational. The boarding school stories. Like I'm going home smiling.
If you don't remember anything, just remember don't negotiate against yourself.
The next recruiter that calls me is gonna have a problem with that.
Sorry, I cut you off.
No, but like, you know, and it's settings like this that make me be like, oh yeah, I can't wait to get back into it again. But it's different when you're here and you go back home and you're looking at all the plans and all the things that you have to do. Like even Saturday now, having to call Kenny and Amanda to be asking like, yo, would you like to be a part of it? And like having to resell something that, oh, if Simba was here, we'd just do it. Or if, you know what I mean? Like the dynamic has been different. So I'm just in uncharted territory for the first time in my life. And I'm like, oh shit.
You know what? Outside of all of this, this is because I've got friends that I've known for 20 years, 20 plus years at this point, and I actually don't think I can imagine life without them, because it's kind of like sometimes we're chatting and it's like, I've seen you through this stage. Remember when you were this person? Remember when you did this stupid thing and blah 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 and blah 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 and blah blah blah. And you know, as you're young, you're always like that's gonna be my uncle's. My kid's uncle. Do you get what I mean? And that's gonna be this and that's gonna be this. And relationships come and go. Friendships. How do you feel like now that it's like, bro?
And that's like a brother.
Bro,
like
that goes from a brother
years.
to being a stranger.
Is there? It's going to sound weird, but is there like a grieving process to that? Maybe it's not because it's still I don't know. I
would say I'm still in the grief, and you know, there's 5 stages of grief.
Yeah.
I would say I'm probably at the 4th or 5th stage where I've accepted it, but it's more like, yeah, man, like I think my situation is a little bit different because I'm an only child. I literally have no siblings, so this is someone I legit like even last week, up until last week, I'm still being asked, oh, where's like every time they see one of us, the other person gets asked, and now it's affecting me to be like, yo, no fuck with that nigga no more. Like I have to be honest. At the start I was being diplomatic, but now I have to like tell my truth because Get says so. If you don't tell your story, they're gonna tell it for you. And bro, it hurts because you're like, you're like, what did I do? Like, and I get it. Like I get on his side, you know, mental health is very fucking real, by the way. Like we all know that. But one question I'm asking is like, what could I have lit like? You can't do that, but then
I know you can, but
like I've said 20 years, like that's 2 decades.
But you know something? Time can be the biggest healer in this thing. And I know as cliche as it is,
I agree.
He will eventually come around and have to accept that ultimately it's okay having this thing, having this project that, you know, has the potential there, has the talent there. I remember looking at Oman as well from far, and I had the cohesion there as well, but it's about application from everybody.
Facts.
And he didn't have that, and he can't come to terms. Sometimes there's certain people in the project that can't come to terms that they just didn't have the application, and they will refuse to take the accountability for it. And they will blame everybody else. But one day he will sit there and he will go, do you know what? I wasn't in on it. Like it can be everything else.
Or it could be like Chris Kamara's dad on his deathbed. They're telling him you should have never hit mom, and he told him, "What are you talking about? What are you talking about? The delusion never left him."
Yeah. It's crazy, and it's one of those weird.
Exactly.
It's crazy, and it's one of those things that's weird. But like at the end of the day, everybody almost you have to do things for you.
Oh yeah,
and it's
I've learned that the hard way.
You know what I hate? I hate when you know somebody so well that it's kind of like, I can almost see that I know exactly where this is gonna go, and I know you so well that I know how stubborn you are that there's nothing I can do at this point.
Nail on the fucking head, because he was saying something about time being the biggest healer. I agree, but you don't know this nigga. Don't know this.
Oh, and also, like, after it being so publicly, does that sometimes mean, like, there are certain lines you don't cross in friendships or in relationships?
There's so many
Like, when
lines.
you put it out like that, and I knew you were trying not to defend yourself, because I saw your tweets as well. It says 20 friends can't play for 20 years. These are tweets. And I saw you tweet that, and I was like, you're trying to bite your tongue, but the fact that he's laying everything out, like, and like, and it's Twitter. We go to Twitter from entertainment, and now obviously because the tweets are there, I'm sharing it to Deji. I'm like, is he not going a bit too hard here? And Deji's trying to be like, because Deji also didn't think that this could be you guys, because he knows you from like Galway days, do you know? So that kind of came to my head. I was like, I know you've also tried hard to be like not really talk about it or push,
And the worst part
sometimes
about it,
it's too far.
The worst part about it is when someone is beefing you, and it's like let's say someone is fighting you, yeah, and you're like, I could fuck you up, but I don't want to hurt you because I still care about you. Do you know what I'm saying? That's kind of like if I speak.
The original if I speak.
It's like no matter what, this guy's just gonna keep hopping at me.
Yeah,
And it's the biggest example of self-control.
Like, thank you for saying that, because I feel like the last couple of months that has been it. Like, I've been tested of my self-control, and it's reaching a point where I just have to be honest on my side of things and be like, yeah, I think I've held my tongue enough. I've gone through therapy, you know, like you don't go to therapy, like you go through therapy for something, but like I didn't expect to go for this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, because we always talk, like, I always see tweets to say about some friendship breakups or whatever. And this is the example, like, I've had all my friends now, 15, 20 years. And, like, Deji saying, my guy Booch, our dads were friends in college. That's how we know each other. So, and he was, like, my groomsman at my wedding. So, to think of a situation where me and Booch, like, life happens to everybody. And, like, no friendship can, maybe one day, we don't know. I hope not, but life can happen. But just to think of like that and then to imagine that, I'm just like, it'll hurt.
My whole thing is like, I don't even mind. Like, because me and him had a separate conversation 2 years ago. But it's like, it didn't have to be public, bro. Like, it didn't, like, I had to answer so many questions I never thought I would have to answer. And I'm like, he really said that?
Yeah.
Mad. But yeah, like, it is what it is. And I feel like it's just taught me more about life in general, that like, look, at the end of the day, you guys yourself.
Question. Sorry, no, finish what you're saying.
No, that's fine.
Going forward, does this fuck with your friendships? Do you feel like you ever trusted friends as close as you did?
Since then, I've caught up 4 or 5 friends.
Jeez.
Wow.
My guy just do a snip.
Bro, like
nobody above
brother, like my eyes were clear because then I started looking at actions, not words. And I started recalling actions. And there's more actions on myself, like, oh, I would do this for you, but you wouldn't do this for me. Okay.
And after age, reciprocating energy is very important. Like, you just can't be given it one way. But
what's good? We charge anything to the game?
I don't think I have anything. Do you know what? That's why podcasting is great.
Yeah.
Look where we just came from, and look how and that's why podcasting is.
Can we just end on the APNI notes? I'm sorry.
End on the APNI note. Go on, take it away.
Cool. So I mean, very important though. APNI. First of all, if you're listening to this and you're not signed up to APNI, you should absolutely do that. Very important, right? It's too many benefits and it's absolutely free. Sorry?
Where do you sign up?
www.apni.ie.
And also we have a Instagram page that you can, our link tree details is on that, so you can find all of us.
Definitely share that page as well.
Yeah, and then we have the career day happening, which we spoke about it. Extremely beneficial for everyone, no matter where you are in your career. So the 13th of October at LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the main sponsor. So it's at their office in Dublin too. I think it's on Mespil Road. Really beautiful office. And we have a lot of sponsors come in. And then on Thursday, actually, we have a workshop around CV prep and career transition, in which Othmane is going to be the moderator on that. So you definitely don't want to miss that. But yeah, looking forward to seeing you all on the career day. Thanks for having us.
Thank you so much for coming. That was legit one of my favorite stories and episodes on this podcast. But this is you. You're local. You can come anytime.
Oh yeah.
If you made it to the end of the pod and you didn't like anything that we said, well, you can charge it out to the gang.
Charge it to the game.
Thank you for listening.
What a name.
Yo, boys.